Hey everyone! So today we're going to dive into something that's a massive part of what makes Canada, well, Canada. We're talking about immigration. It might sound like a big official word, but it's something that shapes our country every single day. So let's get right into it and figure out how this whole thing works. First off, I want you to do a quick mental survey. Just think for a second about your friends, the people you see in class, maybe even your own family. How many of them have a story that started in another country? I'm willing to bet a lot. And that's exactly why this topic is so important. It's woven into the fabric of our communities. So just to make sure we're all on the same page, what exactly is immigration? Well, the official definition is right there, but really, it's just about people moving to a new country and making it their permanent home. It's about setting down roots, building a life, and becoming part of a new community. Okay, so why is immigration such a huge deal for Canada? I mean, why is it so central to our identity? Well, you can boil it down to a couple of really big reasons. First, immigrants are absolutely vital for our economy. They bring skills and fill important jobs. But it's also about something more. It's about being a country that offers a safe place for people who really need one. In this image, this really brings that second point to life. What you're seeing here is a refugee camp. The people here have been forced out of their homes by things completely out of their control, like war. So a big part of Canada's immigration story is about offering shelter and a chance at a new beginning to people in these incredibly difficult situations. All right, so we know why immigration is important. But the next big question is, who comes to Canada? It's not like there's just one single door into the country. The government actually has 4 main categories or pathways for people who want to immigrate. Let's break those down. So here they are, the 4 main groups. We have economic immigrants, the family class, refugees, and then there's this last category called other, which is for people in special humanitarian situations. Each of these categories has a totally different purpose and a different set of rules. The biggest group, by a long shot, is economic immigrants. The name kind of gives it away, right? These are people who are chosen because they have skills or work experience that Canada's economy needs. Say there's a shortage of doctors. Canada might then look for doctors, like Kulwant from Mumbai, and invite them to come here to work and live. Next up is the family class. This one's pretty simple, and it's all about one thing: keeping families together. If you're already a citizen or permanent resident of Canada, you can sponsor close family members to join you. So for someone like Chan Lee, whose children are already living in Calgary, this would be his path to Canada. And then we have refugees. We've talked about this a bit already. A refugee is someone who is forced to flee their home country to escape serious danger, things like war or persecution. People like Pierre, who had to escape a civil war in Sudan. For them, coming to Canada isn't just a choice, it's a search for safety. So with all these people wanting to come to Canada, especially in that big economic category, how does the government actually decide who to accept? I mean, it has to be a fair process, right? Well, for that, they developed a really interesting tool called the point system. The easiest way to think about the point system is to imagine it's kind of like a game. You score points for having certain qualifications, things that will help you succeed in Canada. If you get enough points, you qualify. It's a way to be objective. But, and this is important, this system is only for economic immigrants. So, what kind of things get you these points? Well, there are 6 main factors. Things like your level of education, how well you speak English or French, your past work experience, and even your age. They also look at whether you already have a job lined up and your adaptability. Basically, how easily you'll be able to settle into Canadian life. Introducing this point system was a really, really big deal. Because before 1967, Canada's immigration policies they weren't very fair. The system pretty openly preferred immigrants from Britain. The point system completely changed that. Now it doesn't matter where you were born. The system is designed to be based on skills, not on your background. Okay, so we've looked at the how, the categories, and the point system. But what about the why? What is the Canadian government actually trying to achieve with its immigration policy? The big picture goals are all written down in an official law, the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act. And if you look at these goals, they should seem pretty familiar. They line up perfectly with the 4 categories we just talked about. See? The goals are to help the economy, bring families together, keep Canadians safe, and, super importantly, help new immigrants feel at home, all while celebrating multiculturalism. It all connects. I really want to focus on this last goal for a second because it's key. The law says that making immigration work is a mutual obligation. That means it's a two-way street. It's not just up to newcomers to adapt. It's also up to Canadian society to be welcoming and provide support. It really is a team effort. All right, we have covered a ton of ground today. So before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap and pull out the most important things you need to remember from all this. If you're going to take away just 3 things, make it these. First, immigration is absolutely essential to Canada. Second, there are those 4 main pathways in: economic, family, refugee, and other. And third, to make sure the process is fair for skilled workers, Canada uses that point system we talked about. So just to finish off, here are 2 quick questions to see what you've learned. First, can you name those 4 main categories of immigrants? And second, what's the whole point of the point system? I'll leave you with that to think about. Thanks for tuning in.